Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Neil Telero. This afternoon, I am going to discuss the widely used model of marketing strategy, PSTP, which is all about segmentation, targeting, and positioning. It was already discussed last meeting about what is a market, a target market, and a marketplace. Just to review, a market is a set of all actual and potential buyers. A target market is a group of people towards whom a firm markets its goods, services, or ideas with a strategy designed to satisfy their specific needs and preferences. It is composed of people or institutions with need, sufficient purchasing power, and willingness to buy. The marketplace is heterogeneous with differing wants and varying purchase power. Next is the STP process. First is segmentation. Is a process of classifying customers into groups which share some common characteristics. It is a way of finding a specific market for your product or business. If you are starting putting up your business and wanted to identify your target market, then you need to understand market segmentation. We will discuss it deeper as we go along with the discussion. Next is targeting. It involves the process of evaluating each segment's attractiveness and selecting one or more segments to enter. Next is positioning, is arranging the product to occupy a clear, distinctive, and desirable place relative to the competing products in mind of the customer. So it's all about your identity, the identity of your brand or your company, or how do you want your customer to think about your brand. Let's say for example, sa mga malls, if mingon tag G-Mall, NCCC Mall, of course makaingon jud ta na pang masa na sila kay mga mura lang man sila. Whereas kung makaingon tag Abriza, SM, makahuna-huna ta na ay mahal ang mga tinda din ha. So ang place is nice, comfortable siya, and then nice ang mga views. So makaingon ta na their marketing strategy is to entice their customer that although mahal sila pero comfortable man ang place, nice ang place, daghan sila madtuan og daghang mga klase-klaseng brands na pwede nilang mapagpilian. So what is the advantage of segmentation? First, the process of breaking up a heterogeneous market into homogeneous segments forces the marketers to analyze and consider both the needs of the market and the company's ability to competently serve those needs. So, the process of breaking up mo ni siya the same sa department store. If you notice, ang department store daghan kay mga department, may ladies teens, ladies wear, boys teens, formal wear, children's department, shoe department. So daghan kay na segment jud nila ang or the management segmented those department na naka-specify na kung unsa ang ilang target market on that particular na department. So with that, kung na-segment na magod siya, you can easily create your strategy kung paano pa nimo ma-entice yung customer na mamalit sa imuhang product. So with that naman, mas dili na sila kapuyan o pangita kung asa sila muadto kasi naka cluster naman or naka-segment naman kung asa sila mga to na area. So the next is competitor offerings and marketing positioning must also be analyzed in this context so that the company must consider what is competitive advantage and disadvantage are. So helping it to clarify its own positioning or strategy. Next one is limited resources used to the best advantage targeted to those segments that are offer the best potential. So this is the example of no market segmentation. So kini segmented by gender, segmented by age. So segmentation process has follow two methods to determine the basis for on which to identify markets. First is segments are predefined by managers based on their observation of the behavior and demographic characteristics of likely users. So its segments are defined by asking customers which attributes are important and then clustering the responses. So, this is the basis for segmenting consumer, which can be divided into groups based on some criteria. So, this is how to segment. So, geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. So, first, geographic. So, its target is by location. Example, muna siya nation, states, regions, or cities. Given that we have societal differences, like for example in our place, or in other places or countries, people like spicy, pero kita dinhi or sa other place dili kay sila ganhag spicy. So muna siya ang isa sa imuhang mga isipon. Let's say for example baguhan ka din na area, or naay mga area na dili mo kaon og specific na kanang food kanang dito sa ano mukaon sila pork din dili mo ka og pork. So naay mga ingon ana dapat i-consider if mag ano ka og business. So next one is demographic. Demographic is targeting the customer based on age, gender, family size, and life cycle or income. So let's say for example mag ano ka og um, coffee shop dito sa province ninyo, pero ang mga tao dito kay dili hilig og mga ingonana, so useless lang gihapon kayo nga mag-business ka diadto without knowing na ang imuhang target market wala kay target market dito sa inyo sa imuhang gitukuran og business. So lain pud siya. So next one is psychographic, social class, lifestyle, or personality. So mo ni siya dili siya naga-focus ang katong pag-segment niya. So it tends to explain why they choose to buy. So ngano mang nagabay man sila ana kay mo na ilahang lifestyle. So the next one is behavioral. It refers to the nature of purchase. Like for example, katong mga occasional na mga products, 'di ba? Kung Christmas, sa Christmas lang po na siya ni season ginabaligya ang imuhang mga products. So kinsa man ang imuhang target market ana. So kung Valentine's Day, yun sa mga items na for Valentine's Day, so kinsa man imuhang target market ana, lain pod og ang imong target market. Usually man ang mga target market na ng Valentine's is katong mga mag-uyab, pero somehow naapoy ko na sa for family. The next is the requirement for effective segmentation. So there are five. First is measurable. So it is important to be able to evaluate the overall attractiveness of each segment by checking the size, the profiles of segment, the purchasing power. So muna siya ang kailangan i-consider. Next one is accessible. Of course, each segment need to be able to be reached and communicated with. Kasi if dili siya accessible, dili siya ma-reach sa mga customer nimo, so wala gihapoy effect ang imong pag-segment sa imong product or imong pag sa imong target market. Next one is substantial. Segments are large or profitable enough to serve. So under substantial na adjoy minimum requirement ang firm nga naapoy naapoy ma-return sa ilang mga gi-invest. Next is differential. Segments must respond differently to different marketing mix and programs. The last one is actionable. So, effective programs can be designed to attract and serve the segments. So, identify the appropriate targeting strategy. First is the mass marketing. So, kini siya one product to all customer. Then ang all customer niya kay gina-treat niya as the same. So, since wala man siya naka-segment, press ko tong sa picture earlier na there's no segmentation sa gulang tigulang, bata, lalaki, babae. So, anything nga imuhang sa imong product ma-serve nimo. Let's say for example kang sari-sari store, kana siya. So tanan imuhang client, imuhang customer, so walay pili as long as you have the stocks na ilahang need. So mo to siya. The next one is segment marketing. So, different products to one or more segment. So, this is also called differentiated. So, ang company mag-design og nga mag-target sila og more than one market segment. Let's say for example, kining Unilever company. So, they create diba ako kay sila sales by having different brands, pero ang kana mga brand nila kay pare-pareho lang. Let's say for example sa mga sabon, daghan kay klase nga sabon ay Surf, Breeze, and so on and so forth. Diba daghan kay sila ginabuhat, ginaposition na nila ng mga sabon, pero isa lang ang company, which is the Unilever. So mo na siya ang sample sa segment marketing. The next one is niche marketing. The company focuses on targeting a smaller market with particular needs. So, muna siya different products to subgroup within segments. Example, baby products sa isa ka store. So, sa isa ka ng baby products sa isa ka store, sa isa ka department, na siya ay groups subgroups nga mga products. Let's say for example, baby shoes, diaper, powder. So dira naga-focus ang few segments. So within that segments naman po yung nagabay. So muna siya yung tawag na niche. The next the last one is the marketing or micro marketing, targeting a specific group or individual within a market such as location, age, job title, and etc. So next is the basis for segmenting business market or B2B. So this is where companies sell their products or services to other business. So it can also be segmented into area. So, demographics, operating characteristics, purchasing approaches, situational, personal characteristics. So, sa demographics, same siya ganina, company should consider the location where they serve the product, the size of the company, and what industry they are going to serve. Of course, importante man jud na siya. Next is operating characteristics. They need to, or the company should consider if they can serve the demand of the client, if they are heavy user ba sila or light user ba sila, mga ingon ana. The next is purchasing approach. Should the company serve the business that is centralized or decentralized purchasing method? So the way mag-purchase sa imuhang client, let's say for example kung daghan kaayo, bulto-bulto, makaya ba nimo? Or on the other hand, kung ginagmay lang ang ihang order, okay ba sa imo? Mga na situation. Next is situational factor. Kini siya if the company makaya ba nimo kung mag-demand si company or ang imong client na um, ora-orada mag-order dayon ipa-deliver dayon, so okay ba na sa imo ha, base if mo okay ka mas dako hinon nimo expenses kaysa sa imuhang profit, so kana mo na isa pod na siya sa i-consider. Next, if consider kasi let's say for example daghan siya gi-order sa imuha pero daghan pa man og mga expenses, delivery fees, other charges, so kana. Next is personal characteristics. Should the company serve those who are loyal to their supplier? So, 'di ba, kung ano magod B2B manggod, nadyo na siya deep relationship between the two kasi kung wala manggod dili magdugay ang inyong partnership. So, kailangan jud mo na ay relationship just like in our company. So, as a sales personnel, we have a good relationship jud sa among mga kliyente in order for them na mag sige gihapon og order sa amo, kay kung wala daghan man kay mig competitor so pwede ra mi mailisan, so mo na siya. Next one is market evaluating segments. So first is the segment size and growth. So analyze sales growth rate, expected profitability for various segments. So as a manager, you need to analyze if transacting to a specific business will give the company profits or mo to kung yung kay ganina mas dako pa ang imuhang expenses kasi sa imong profit, so kailangan jud na nimo siya i-check. Next is segment structural attractiveness. So, consider effects of competitors, availability of substitute products, and power of buyer and supplier. So, consider nimo ang effects sa mga competitors nimo ani. Kung ang imong product na abay substitute sa imong competitor kana. The last one is company objective and resources. Company skills and resources relative to segments. Look for competitive advantage. So the next one is market targeting pa din, step 2, market coverage strategy. So this is what I've explained earlier regarding with mass marketing, niche, mo gihapon ni siya tong segmented marketing, so mo ni siya kanina. So choosing a market coverage strategy, so these are the factors influencing the choice of the market targeting strategies. The first one is company resources, so ang i-consider human resources, financial resources, so mo na siya. Next is product variability. If ang product ba, ang product quality ba niya is same lang ba siya tanan, basig inig-deliver na ay okay, na ay dili. So if ingon ana the quality or ang liable ani is ang manufacturer of course. Next is product life cycle. It is a process of the product goes through from when it is first introduced until it declines or removed from the market. So, ang uban naman dyan ay mga expiration or naanap, mapulihan na po bago. So, kailangan po na siya i-consider. Next is market variability. And also, the competitor's marketing strategy. So, you need to have a competitive analysis to process or para ma-check nimo kung unsa na ang mga strategy sa imong competitor, basig nabiyaan na ka, wala na kabalo, so mo na siya, need pud na siya i-check. Next is positioning for competitive advantage. First is product positioning. The way the product is defined by consumer or on important attributes, the place the product occupies in consumer mind relative to competing product. Let's say for example, sa katong mga sabon gihapon, di ba daghan kay klase-klase nga sabon. So naay sabon or naay brand na kusog siya sa ingon ani na place, na per brand na hinay siya sa ingon ani na place. So each of those brand kay naa siya product positioning. So let's say for example kung ang Ariel, unsa man tong Ariel, makaprotect siya sa color sa imuhang kasinina, makalimpyo siya dali ana. So kung sa Tide naman, humot, makalimpyo gihapon, di na kailangan kusuon. So muna siya ang positioning, product positioning. Next is marketers must plan positions to give their products the greatest advantage in selected target markets. Design marketing mixes to create these planned positions. So next is product positioning competitive. So strategies. Ang advantages niya kung layo ba siya sa imong competitors, kung dili ba mo pareho sa imong competitor, ang usage niya is always ba siya pwede ma-use, benefits niya makatabang ba ni siya sa imuhang client. So mo na siya. Next one is steps to choosing the implementing positioning strategy. So first is identifying possible competitive, so advantages, competitive differentiation. So you need to check kung unsa man ang mga benefits na makuha sa imuha, kung mas okay ba ang imong product kaysa sa iyang mga product. So yun ana, if ano man good kung na if you already segmented your product or your target market, so basically you can create a strategy na ma-compare pod nimo sa imuha mga competitor. So the next one is, or the step 2 is selecting the right competitive. So ang advantage niya, unique selling proposition. So mo ni siya na ang factor nga i-consider nimo sa imuhang seller nga ang imuhang client makaingon jud kung ang imuhang product is different or better from your competitor. So nga naman unsa man ang ilahang unsa man ang mga reasons. So mo na siya. Step 3, communicating and delivering the chosen position. So kung unsa man jud to ang imuhang gi-present, it should be delivered and communicate to your clients. Next one is support the positioning strategy with the unique marketing mix. So mo to siyang sample ani is katong mga 4 P's, price, product, place, o promotion. So mo na siya, it will be discussed in the next chapter. Developing competitive differentiation. So areas for competitive differentiation. So product, image, service, or people. So product, kung let's say for example sa mga milk tea shops, daghan makig milk tea shops karon. So unsa man ang different sa imong products ug sa other products. So dapat na ay mga ana ang image, kung ang cup ba, ang inyong included din ha ang inyong stores, ambience, service, naba may good customer service, mga after sales, naaba mo yung mga na mga activities, or people, accommodating ba, yung staff, so like that. The next one is selecting the right competitive advantage. So criteria for determining which differences to promote. So distinctive, superior, communicable, affordable, preemptive, and profitable. Next step is supporting the positioning strategy. At this stage, the company has decided on its positioning strategy and must now design a marketing mix to support this strategy. So the next part of the course, look at the developing marketing mix. So it will be discussed in the next chapter. And that ends my report. Thank you so much. I hope daghan mog natunan. Thank you.